Hey guys, third video here on the Scout project. It's gone a long ways in a pretty short time, especially for me. I'm one that seems to drag projects out. As you guys have seen, I've got a lot of videos hanging out there with projects that are just kind of in limbo. And I will get back to some of those, but right now I'm kind of obsessed with this thing. So anyway, since the last time you saw it, a lot has changed, a lot has been finished. It's almost a completed truck now, but I am working on a lot of details. Tonight, however, I got some parts in from Rick at SuperShafty. Now, Rick set me up with some parts that he developed specifically for this Dinky Split Skid. What you see here is something you're probably pretty familiar with if you've ever looked into the bomb-proof setups. It's extended outputs on a hardened steel gear, followed by some 6mm MIP hubs. But something that is different about these outputs is they're not his typical extended outputs. These things are made kind of a mid-length between his stubby and the normal extended, specifically for this DDK for a couple of reasons. One is the normal extended push that the drive shaft hub too far back, and you ended up with binding in a typical length MIP hub. So Rick shortened it up, and because the stubby wouldn't work without the regular Traxxas set pin, 4mm set pin that goes in these hubs, it would hit the split skid itself. Now, rather than telling people they just need to grind on those or things like that, Rick didn't want to have people worrying about that, so he went ahead and made a specific mid-length extended output just for this product. So if you've got this and you want something that's as beefy as you can get in it and as easy to bolt on as it can get, these are going to be the ticket for you. Along with that, Rick sent me the rest of the hardened steel gear set, as well as his new top shaft for that DDK. It is a simple 5mm shaft that is cross drilled for the drive shaft pin. That means you can actually pin through the drive shaft rather than having to rely on a flat spot for a set screw or anything like that. And then of course it's got the pin in the top there for the top gear. Jump over to Rick's site at supershafty.com and pick up those things. Also, while I'm in there, Fast Eddie Bearings threw me a few sets of bearings here that I'm going to use when I'm replacing everything in here while I taking out those stock plastic parts and throwing new in. So thank you, Eddie, appreciate it. And if any of you guys need bearings, jump over to Fast Eddie's site, support the guys who support us, and check out what he's got. This is specific for the SCX10, so you could replace every bearing in the SCX10 if you need that kit. And the kit's like $20. I'm going to get into installing this thing. I'm not going to go through the whole thing just because it's pretty basic swapping gears, but I will show you the final results of it, and then I'll also get into some of the details that I've done on this truck over the last couple of weeks. I got those parts installed from Rick at SuperShafty. Everything went in there real nice. Everything is nice and tight tolerance. So everything was snug, it needed a press fit, but beyond that, it was just a really nice, straightforward project to install there. So now that I've got that installed, that was my project for the night. I did want to show you kind of the rest of the truck and kind of what I've been doing over the last couple of weeks. So last time you saw it, I think I probably had some fenders on. I think I had the grill mocked up, and I had probably I can't remember exactly where I was at after the last video, but anyway, I did a lot of work on this thing. I've got a full interior in there based off of that Dinky RC DDK. It allowed me to really drop everything down. It's got a tall center console in there, but it's fairly narrow, and that has nothing to do with the amount of interior room I had. That was simply because I wanted a, kind of that standard height in kind of a waterfall dash. So that's the reason I went with that. That whole thing is completely empty, so I could put something in there if I liked. Anyway, I did finish up all of the body panels on this thing. They're all steel except for the grill. The grill came from that Proline ambush body, which was out several years ago and had been discontinued, and I picked this one up from Howard. Also, Howard helped me with this hood. You can see it's got 3 lines in it. Now those are actual bead rolled lines, so there's some actual dimension to this hood. Now for the hood, I just did this last night or the night before. I think the night before actually is when I worked on this hood. And to attach it, it comes off there easily by hand, but to do that, it's got 2 magnets right here, and here, and then this 90-degree lip that's bent in the front of the hood with a couple of notches. Those notches correspond with a couple of tubes on the frame up here, and that just helps locate the front of the hood and align it properly. And those two magnets up there hold that. And in the rear, I've got magnets in the back corners of this of the fenders, so it just aligns on there in the front and it snaps down. Those are rare earth magnets that I got off of Amazon. They're a tiny little thing. This is a stack of them. You pull them off and they're super thin, but they're very strong. So that's all I'm using for now. I think those 4 magnets will hold it just fine. We'll see how it does on the rocks. I've got the full interior, like I said. Those are all just aluminum panels. Everything in here is metal. I really don't have any plastic or styrene or anything like that. And then the rear bed area is the next project there. You can see I've got some of the panels in there now. I don't have anything on this side. I'll replicate that side to fit it in there. But I'm just going to make that a little bed area, kind of like the full-size trail rig has. For the rear suspension, I added in a couple of rear suspension mounts into the actual chassis itself. You can just see it right there a little bit. And I wanted to do that to get rid of the stock SCX10 mount so that I could do this bed area, because that SCX10 mount was much more intrusive. Now this area that you see in front of that right in here is where I will keep my battery and possibly some other electronics. I've got a firewall that will go in between the cab and this area. Whoops. And then I'll also have a cap. You can see a couple of tabs over here on the side. There's one and there's one over there. And I will be doing something similar with a magnetic plate that will pop on there. I don't know exactly what I'm going to put on top of that. If I'm going to put some sort of fuel cell topper on there, that's what my initial thought is, and I'll probably go somewhere or something along those lines. So I'm playing with a couple of options there. We'll see how that all turns out in the end. But it's coming along really nice, and I'm really excited for this thing. Right now it does have those orange rings on there. Those are not staying. These wheels are actually not staying. I'm going to be going with some 1.9 method wheels. And I'll get to those in a couple of weeks. I'll show you what I'm going to do there. But I've got some new rings coming for these to replace these out. I'm just going to go with some black rings for the time being until my new methods come in. Beyond that, I never did really show much about the drivetrain on this thing. I do have the Vanquish Curry axles, Proline SCX10 scalar shocks. I am running the Vanquish 3-link setup up front. You can see the panhard there, and then you can also see right there is the 3-link mount. So everything it gets real tight at full stuff, but I get pretty much full bump, and I do get plenty of articulation. So I'm pretty happy with that setup so far. I did have to weld in my own servo mount up front, just because since I've got the entire chassis welded together, there isn't exactly any sliding in a mount. You can see it is tucked way up there. It's as far forward as it can go. It's just a couple of millimeters from the grill, a couple of millimeters from the hood bar. It's just as far up there as it could be, so it's completely out of the way. Gives me quite a bit of room well, I shouldn't say quite a bit of room, just a little bit of room between there and the GR7, enough to stick my finger down in there. That's what I got for now, guys. I'm looking forward to finishing this thing. I would like to drive it this weekend, so we'll see if that works out. The forecast is saying rain now, so who knows, it might not happen now. But beyond that, a little bit of an update for you guys, and we'll hopefully the next one will be a finished truck, and then I can get some running video down the road. But that's what I got for now. It was a short project for me, went pretty fast, but I'm really digging the way the whole build came out. So that's all, guys. We will see you on the next one.